incomparable Met for almost half a century, has guided and inspired 3 generations of the world's best singers and become America's most influential maestro since Leonard Bernstein. Under his baton, the Met became the House of Levine. 4 years ago, a terrible accident left him partially paralyzed. As Bob Simon reported, only believers in miracles thought Levine could return to the podium. But after a 2-year absence, he did.
When he made his comeback, Levine, now in a wheelchair, before even lifting his baton, got a standing ovation. That usually happens at the end of an opera, not at the beginning. He would conduct Mozart's Così fan tutte, one of his favorites. If you could see music as well as hear it, you would see it in the face of James Levine.
I was just grateful beyond words. It was clear that I could still do this work and that the orchestra and the company and the audience wanted me to do it. And oh, it felt like I had a chance to get my life back.
Are you aware of how sad, even desperate, many of the musicians and singers were when you weren't around?
Yes, Bob, I'm very aware of it. They called me, they wrote me letters, and the messages were always, "We need you, get well, come back as quick as you can." It was a fantastic motivating thing for me. I didn't conduct for really 2 seasons. It felt like forever.
It also seemed like forever not only to the Met, but to the entire world of opera. He's been conducting here since he was 27, but has been making music since he was a toddler. He grew up in Cincinnati, the son of a former big band leader and a Broadway actress. He wasn't just your garden variety prodigy, and everyone seemed to know it. He did too.
Was there ever a single moment when you weren't sure you wanted to devote your life to music?
Never. I knew it. It was one of my earliest awarenesses that I loved music, and it was what I was happiest doing, always.
In 1976, Levine became music director of the Met, where he's conducted more than 2,500 performances. He's also conducted every major orchestra in America and Europe, and coached the greatest singers of our time. Leontine Price and Marilyn Horne. Renee Fleming. And he participated in what was probably the most popular classical music event in history. He brought opera to the masses with the 3 tenors: Domingo, Carreras, Pavarotti.
He's one of the greatest conductors in the history of conducting.
Peter Geld is the general manager of the Metropolitan Opera.
Can you describe what distinguishes Levine from other conductors?
He taught the Metropolitan Opera Orchestra to listen to singers. He made them into a truly great opera orchestra. And his ability to get the best out of the performers is another hallmark. He's a conductor for the ages in that regard.
Levine's career seemed destined to accompany him into old age brilliantly and seamlessly. But then starting in 2000, his body began to fail him. A host of ailments. He canceled performances.
There were times when I really couldn't work, or I had to work in so much pain it was a big distraction.
Then in 2011, he took what turned out to be a catastrophic fall.
I fell down a flight of steps onto the grass. And gradually, over the rest of that day and the following day, the feeling went out of my legs, and I couldn't move them.
Fractured his spine, took an indefinite leave of absence.
Was there a moment when you realized, I think I'll be able to conduct again?
No, but there was a moment that I remember after what seemed like an endless number of days. I kept saying to my leg, go on, move. And one day I said, go on, move, and it did.
It listened.
And I said, you really did that, didn't you? Can you do that again? And it did it again.
That minuscule movement brought hope back to the Met and to Levine's closest buddy, Placido Domingo. They'd been making music together for decades.
When he was at the point that he couldn't move his legs, did you ever doubt that he'd be able to come back?
I have seen him already suffering in the last years, you know, and always he was coming back. I just cannot imagine Jimmy was not going to be at the Met, or he was not going to be conducting.
Jimmy, the comeback kid.
The comeback kid, yes.
But how would he come back?
Hello, excuse me.
It took a lot of engineering.
Hi.
The Met designed a portable podium dubbed the Maestro Lift that works like an elevator. It goes up and down and allows him to turn.
Good morning, everybody. I drove here in my chair, which is why I'm a few minutes late. In any case, let's do Act 2, please. 1, 2, 1, 2. There we are.
You have been number 1 for over 40 years. What do you do that number 10 does not do?
Oh, Bob, I haven't the faintest idea.
Oh, yes, you do.
No, I don't. My job is to keep making it better. Which gets subtler and subtler the better you get.
We went with Levine to rehearsals of Verdi's comedy, Falstaff, to find out how he makes it better. The opera is about a shameless rogue and the women who are determined to track him. Levine's credo? When you think you've finished rehearsing,
No.
rehearse again.
Lustier, a little bit unrestrained. 1, 2.
Less than perfect isn't less than perfect. It's wrong.
No, excuse me. It's slightly...
Levine has conducted Falstaff 55 times and says he's still trying to get it right.
What'd you say? Wow.
He's been working with the great American mezzo-soprano Stephanie Blythe since she was a student of his 20 years ago.
The man understands singers. He understands the psychology of singing, which is not easy.
What is the psychology of singing?
Well, everyone's different, you know. We're like a load of snowflakes up there. When you're up on the stage, there's an enormous amount of fear that goes along with that. You can't take a risk unless you're brave. And you can't be brave if you're looking down in the pit and you see the top of someone's head.
Good, Steph.
And he gives you confidence.
He gives you an enormous confidence.
Singers call him the best coach in opera because he always tells them how good they are before pointing out how they can and must do better.
That's it. Hey, wait a minute, wait. That was a nice one. Right? In other words, then the voice goes together with your smile, which is wonderful, and your cheekbones and your eyes, which are beautiful.
I try to make a rehearsal room a very safe environment for a singer so that we can make improvements.
When's the last time you screamed at a singer?
Screamed?
Got really mad.
I don't scream at people. You like it if people scream at you?
No, not at all. Not at all, but people do.
Well, I don't scream at people, and people don't scream at me.
Instead, they just sing their hearts out.
Not too much crescendo, folks. Under the voice.
When the ladies leave, Levine does too to that other New York landmark, Central Park, the great outdoors. And here too, the tempo is allegro.
That really goes at a fair clip.
It can go pretty fast.
I bet he can outpace me.
The park's a miracle. It's in a way like a mini vacation, just to come in for a couple of hours.
What do you plan for your retirement?
I don't understand why people think they want to retire.
He never plans to. Maestros rarely do. But he's focused on his legacy, shaping and molding the next generation of singers. 35 years ago, he created the Met's Lindemann Young Artist Program. Even when he couldn't conduct, he kept on working with his students. Today, he's coaching Mary Jane Lee from Canada. She's taking on one of the most heartbreaking arias in all opera, the doomed Desdemona, in Verdi's Othello. Levine has conducted Othello more than any other opera, and with the greatest divas of the century. But watch him with this young student. He seems as moved as he's ever been.
You did a lot of great work on that piece, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm so happy living in music, working on music, that if I'm not working on music, I'm looking forward to the next time I will be. You take it into your nervous system and into your ears and into your heart and into your intellect directly. You're guaranteed from the minute the music starts until it stops. Nothing is in there except that.